Hello, and welcome to That Beautiful Life podcast. This is episode 179 of That Beautiful Life podcast. Army of Thieves, that's the title of the podcast. Is that an important title? Not really. I just copied and pasted because I was copying and pasting stuff into the show notes, and you just have to live with it. So, anywho, that being said, hello and welcome to That Beautiful Life podcast. My name is Kadus Campbell, sitting here in the beautiful Red and United Kingdom, talking to the beautiful Roger Brixton all the way in Stockholm, Sweden. Rog, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. It's good. It's been a good week, and I just see now that the sun starts to bring some light through the windows, and that's a good start of a morning, I would say. What day is, by the way? Wednesday, right? Yeah, Wednesday.
It is kind of
What's
Wednesday.
kind of Wednesday?
Kind
One of
of.
those kind of Wednesday days. Yeah, so it's good. What about you? I hear your voice. Is at least better compared to
Don't
what
get it
you
last time. I was sick.
Yeah, and that's also why we didn't record last week.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
weren't really in a condition to talk that much.
Nah, I was out. Like I checked out. My voice had checked out. I was just speaking was hurting me. Like I remember the morning of I had to like get tie ready for school, and I'm just
Mm.
like I'm basically like like mining it the whole time. And like most of the stuff he was getting, and then some stuff he was just standing there and like looking at me like, what do you mean? Like, what do you want me to do? Why don't you just say something? Why don't you just tell me what you want? And I'm just like,
Oh,
at one point I'm like, Ty, like I can't speak, and
exactly.
like just pull that door, close it, grumble, 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 and then he's like, oh, sorry, and he closes the door. So yeah, stuff like that. It was a bit of a thing, but I live and
Mm.
breathe. I live and I breathe
Yeah,
this thing we call air, oxygen. I have a voice again. I'm no longer coughing every 2 seconds. I'm still
good.
coughing, but not every 2 seconds. So
Oh, that's good.
yeah, it's been
Can
good.
you fall asleep, or do you start to cough in the evening?
I can fall asleep. I can fall asleep. The only thing, my nose gets really stuffy, but
Aha.
there's a certain Roger Bergstrom who has shared his expert nose saving
Yes.
techniques for when it's bedtime. So I usually just use my nasal spray, like like I'll
Good.
just two puffs, one two, and I keep it next to me, and then
Yep.
I just go to bed. That's it, and
Beautiful.
that runs me through the night. In the day I don't need it, but at night, yeah, I need that thing, or I'm not gonna
Yeah.
sleep. So yeah, so it
Great.
helps me sleep. So other than that, I'm good.
Mm.
I'm pretty good. I see. Let me think. Is there anything else I'm good about being all awake and all that kind of good stuff? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm trying to find show. I'm trying to find a video to like play during the podcast, and I can't. I'm struggling.
Struggling. Yeah, but that's a part of it sometimes. Life
Mhm.
is sometimes a struggle indeed.
It
That we
is.
all know. That we all
Mhm.
know. And I guess you had one of those moments at least last week when you were like that, as you described.
Mhm.
But besides that, I guess I can just guess that your week was a bit slower than usual then. I mean, due to your condition. I mean, were you able to do stuff, or did you rest, or?
I mainly was still doing stuff, so I still had to do my usual stuff.
Mm,
Um, like per usual, I still had to like get up and get tied to school and all that kind of stuff, and
yeah.
that kind of stuff. So I did my usual routine for the most part. But that being said, I was still sick. So
Yeah.
so I was sick while you was doing my usual routine, which I think the only things I didn't do, like I didn't do any streaming. I didn't do any extra stuff. I literally
Yeah.
like I was just like, anything that comes up I'm gonna have to check out. Like I'm not gonna be able to do it because I'm not feeling well. So I'm not gonna like let myself expire to just get certain things done that I could just leave and say, hey, and I'll deal with this some other time. So I rested. I got a nice good rest, and that was the best I could ask for at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Usually that is the thing. Sometimes when we don't get better, like in time, whatever
Uh-huh.
that is,
Yeah.
it's usually because we don't give the body the proper rest.
Yeah,
So so
I think to a certain extent, like despite the fact me saying that I got my rest, I still didn't rest as well as I could because as I say, like I'll be going to bed and then getting up early to like deal with Ty, you know. So but when I would say that, because the thing is like what happened during the time I was sick, my sleep schedule changed. So my sleep schedule changed to where I would drop Ty off and then I'd sleep for the rest of the day until I picked him up. So from like 8 in the morning to like 3 in the afternoon, I'd be resting, and then I'd wake up and then I'd deal with him in the afternoon and do all what I have to do, and then I'd go to bed around 3 in the morning, and then rest between 3 and 7, and then get up, get him ready, and rinse and repeat. So I was getting rest, but it was sort of like uneven and all that kind of stuff. One thing I can say though is I have new internet, you know.
yeah, bro, I saw that the other day. I saw you actually posted on, yeah, that was on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't even post on Facebook very often.
Yeah. I saw my own internet connection speed right there, and I was like, good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
So what happened? Did you change provider or what?
Yeah, we did. So we've been with Virgin Media for like ages now. Like they've been our provider for ages, and Virgin has been really good to us in the sense of like the customer service is pretty good.
That's important.
Yeah, it is. So they've been like really good to us when it comes to customer service. We haven't really had any issues. Whenever we tell them we want to leave, they've offered us a significant discount. Even when we decided to leave this time, they discounted us significantly. Like we were going to be paying like 20 something quid a month for internet just to stay. If we had decided to stay with them, it would have been at a 20 something quid price tag, which was tempting. It almost tempted me, you know. To first, I was like, whew, yo, because the last time when we stayed with them, that was exactly what happened. We were gonna switch before, and they tempted us with that, and I was like, oh Lord of mercy, that's a good price though. So and they usually like increase whatever our speeds are and all that kind of stuff, but they reached the limits as to how high they could increase our speeds for dropping the price because they don't have fiber in our area and we needed fiber, so we've been using I think they call it fiber broadband or some kind of thing like that. So it's not full fiber essentially. And so in the end we just had to switch, and I was very honest with them because they kept asking us like why are we leaving, is there anything they can do and all that kind of stuff. And I was just very honest with them. I was like, hey, like honestly, love the service, you guys have been like really good to us and stuff like that, but we need fiber in our household. Like, we live in a household where, we live stream and stuff like that. And then we have a bunch of other people using the network at the exact same time. And what happens is it bottlenecks. It bottlenecks on the upload because, I mean, we only have like 30 something megs up and that's the max, you know? Yeah. And so I was like, we honestly cannot continue using something like this. Like we need something else. And they were like, oh, okay, we understand. And so for some of the people that we spoke to on the phone from Virgin, for some of them, they were like I get it. Like I have Virgin too. I have Virgin in my area, but I wish I could switch to something else to have fiber as well. You know?
Yeah.
Because I remember speaking to one lady at Virgin and her saying that her partner is a streamer and he can't use their services to basically stream because the upload is crap, you know. Yeah. And I get it, the upload is crap, you know. As I say, like they could improve it, but unfortunately they have not in our area because they have fiber in other areas, just not ours. So. So we checked out. We're no longer Vision Media customers. We are with another provider. I will not provide their name. I will keep it to myself. We're with another provider. So far so good. I can't complain as of yet. I'm sure I will complain at some point or the other. But for now they've been doing their job. The internet's been working. It hasn't dropped off or anything like that. So
I think usually, as you mentioned customer support and stuff like that. I think it's when the problems comes around, you really see what the company's made of, if that makes sense.
That's the thing.
What kind of help you get. Because, I mean, things can happen, you know, but it kind of depends on how willing they are to actually help you and support and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see down the line. But so far it sounds good because yeah, it is a different. I mean, I still remember when you started to talk about that. I still remember me also when I many years ago when I started, like also streaming and we didn't have that. Yeah, we had an okay internet, but like, normal and everything. And as you say, when it got a bit like bottlenecked, then both Adam and Isaac were still living at home and they were online and, everything like, yeah, it became a problem actually. So it's a huge difference when you get that kind of space, you might say. It's much easier to just, or actually you don't even think about it after some time because it's not going to be a thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's a kind of a freedom.
Yeah, you
I mean,
do.
you could most likely do well with maybe 300 or 500 up and down as well. I think we had that at first, like 500, I think, like half of 1K. But then there was an offer, and it was like such a small difference when it comes to the price. So we just okay, what the frack? We go with the higher tier. Then I mean, it's
I'll be
way.
honest. We only went for the tier we have because it was an offer. I was looking at exactly what you said. I was looking at 300 megs,
Yeah,
and
and that is most likely enough, in many ways.
yeah. But then the guy was like, but if you go with this one, they always sell you on something. It's just a fraction of the cost, level there. And I was like, oh, really? It's like, it's cheaper actually if you go with this one compared to that
Yeah,
one.
there we go.
And I was like, seems like, yes, exactly. So we signed up to that one and we were like, okay, cool. So now we have,
Yeah.
now we have interwebs essentially.
Yep. Okay, good. Yeah, but
So,
that's a good one. A good change. Good
yes.
change.
So we've got good internet now, nice speeds. I'm quite happy with my internet. I have no worries. I'm not losing sleep over it.
No.
Yes.
But the difference also is if you like gonna download something or
Oh.
upload something for that sake, that's when you start to feel the difference. I remember that clearly, also doing YouTube already back then, and I was like, oh my god, this is taking such a long time to upload this video. And now it's like, it's a huge difference.
I remember my first game download after the whole changeover, and my god, it was blistering. It was blistering smooth. I was just like, oh my god, this is nice. Like I click download and it's like, and the game's downloading and it's like every second it's going up a percentage, 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, and I'm like, yes, very nice. You get to
instead of every like third minute.
Yeah, exactly. It's like happening 1%, 2%, like every second it's like going up a percentage, and I'm just like, my god, you're beautiful.
It's funny though.
Yeah. It's been pretty good. Even like for example, last night I was downloading a set of games on all my consoles, and I'll explain that in a sec. With regards to gaming, but I was downloading this set of games onto my consoles, and I was downloading on the Switch, my laptop, and my PlayStation 5 at the exact same time, and watching that. I will admit the consoles are pretty crap with regards to the network. Like they're not getting the full. Because I looked at the PlayStation and it was telling me it's getting like 30 something megabits down. I'm like, what the fuck are you getting 30 something megabits down? Like these speeds are in the hundreds. Like you need to behave yourself. You should be at least about 100 megs. Because it's not even like the PlayStation is on Wi-Fi, it's on LAN. So it's like, what the fuck are you doing to me, PlayStation? So I don't know what's going on with the PlayStation downstairs. I'm gonna have to figure it out. I'm gonna have to double check the network, see if there's anything weird going on, why it's getting such a crap signal downstairs. Or if it is that the PlayStation is bottlenecked at around that speed, which I would be shocked if it's like, because it's getting 8 megs up and 30 something megs down, which again, my network speed right now is 1,000 up, 1,000 down. That's where my network speed is at, right? It should not be anything less than that. Any less than 500, it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So that's the gist of it. That's the deal. I have new internet and all that kind of stuff. That being said, I've also done something pretty daring this week. Yeah, very, very daring, to be quite frank.
Okay.
I made a bet, a very expensive bet. I bet £1,000 with one of my co-hosts on that other podcast I'm on called HPMP. and I bet him £1,000 that I can't finish a game series that includes 10 games. Each game takes approximately about 60 hours to complete, but knowing me, it'll probably take me a lot longer than that. It'll probably take me like up to like 90 hours because they're JRPGs. So I have 10 JRPGs to complete by the end of 2024. If I complete them, he pays up £1,000. If I don't, I owe him £1,000. So, so yes, I have an expensive bet that I need to like win, essentially. And I'm trying to also win this bet sooner rather than later, because I could use £1,000 to be honest. So generally speaking, and I'm not playing, and the most important thing, I'm not playing these games like speedrunning style. So it's not like I'm skipping dialogue and just running through. Like I'm actually just playing these games. Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing.
Wow. Oh, that's quite a lot of money. Oh, dude. Yeah. Well, I wish you all the best. It's gonna be some long hours, but I mean, you can do it. With some proper planning and everything, and yeah, definitely start to. I mean, I guess you will like check each game how long they are, like kind of, so you get a kind of a feel about that, and then start to plan. But oh wow, cool thing.
Yeah,
right.
I've got a thing.
Yeah, you've never done that before.
Never, and also because of the fact, like recently, I have not been playing games that for that long. I mean, it's taken me it's taken me months to complete one game at a time. Sometimes, and so having to like complete that many games in such a short period of time is quite a significant challenge for me at this particular point in time. So I am. Especially these are games that, as I say, like I can't speedrun them. Like if it was games that I could just log in and run through and click this thing and that would be it, and I don't even have to like think, then yeah. But these are games that I actually want to play, that I've actually had in my list for the longest while, that I care about the story, and I am gonna play like properly. So I've been playing the first game now so far, which is The Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky. So I'm playing Trails in the Sky now at the moment. Now, Trails, just to be clear to everyone in the podcast, the gameplay on the screen is not from Trails in the Sky. I just don't have any footage of it that I can use right now for the podcast. So the gameplay is from some other game. But I am playing Trails in the Sky at the moment. That's my current game that I'm playing. And it's an older game as well, the first game. It's a lot of reading. It is a long game, if I do say so myself.
Okay, cool.
And all the other games in the series are long games, so I'm looking forward to it. I am indeed. I'm looking forward to my time in this game.
Challenge.
It is a challenge. I love a good challenge. Yeah. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to taking my mate's money. I've already told Bao. I'm like, Bao, I'm gonna take your money, Bao, because how it started, like, we have like a group chat that we're in where we would like talk about random stuff during the week leading up to the podcast and stuff like that. And in the chat, like Bao just like spouts something, because I'm like, they were talking about like having an episode about like talking about one of the games in the series, which is The Legend of Heroes: Trails into Reverie, right? And we were talking about like the show notes for the next episode. And I was like, are we doing spoilers for Reverie? Because if we are, like, I'm gonna sit it out. And Shadow's like, he's like, no, we're not doing spoilers, but we will do an episode later with spoilers for Reverie. So I was like, okay, cool, that'll give me time to finish Reverie. And so at that point in time, Bao was like, Key, you're not finishing Reverie. Like, it's like, you haven't even done all the other games of the series. And I'm like, oh, is it? So like when Bao comes into the episode, I'm like, you bastard. I was like, so he's shocked. He's like, what? And then everyone else in the podcast is like, oh, hey, like it's going down. So I'm like, what makes you think I can't finish Reverie? Now he's like, Q, I would bet you £1,000 that you won't finish Reverie by the. I was like, I'll take your money, Bao. I'll take your money. And then and it went on, and then eventually we worked out the rules, and then I've got £1,000 bet now. So I remember when I mentioned it to my missus, I was like, babe, I made a bet with Bao, and she's like, "Oh," I was like, £1,000. She's like, "We don't have £1,000 queue to just like give away." I was like, "Yeah, I'm looking to win this bet though." Like,
Well, yeah, you better.
I think if I were to lose this bet, like I think she'd be the most pissed at me. She'd be like, "What the frack? You lost £1,000?"
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to winning this bet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else to mention when it comes to your week or?
Um. Other than that, no, not really. I can't think of anything at this particular point in time outside of betting £1,000 to Bow.
Exactly. That's
We did. Yeah, there was something else. We had we hosted a dinner party. Alex invited a couple of her mates around. These are people I've never met. So they came over, and Ash came over with his new girlfriend, and we had a dinner party, and we drank and played drawful, and we did karaoke, and it was fun.
that's nice.
It was honestly fun. Like we had a really, really nice time. I was singing and all that kind of stuff, and eating and drinking and la di da. That obviously the alcohol did not help my cough, but
Yeah, no, of course not. But on the other hand, yeah, you gotta have some fun,
Exactly. Girls just want to have fun, including guys. So yeah, we had that, and on the the Friday night before that, we ended up going bowling.
Nice.
So yeah, pretty much outside of that, yeah, that's where the week has ended. Yeah, I'm sure we did other things during the week, but I can't remember the rest of that stuff.
Yeah. But that was the kind of main things. That sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, altogether. Especially also hearing now that you're better. That's the improvement of the week.
Indeed. Yeah. Very much so.
Yeah. I've been going on as normal, I would say. I'm still waiting for Annalie to start her vacation so we can do things some together as well. And as mentioned before we started to record, that's going to happen on Friday this week. That's her last day. She's not going to have a long vacation, but a few weeks at least. So that's that. But before that, it's been a lot of focus on Saturday, July 15, which was last Saturday. I think I even mentioned in the podcast that I was going to play a concert with the band called Capital 59, which is a band that I've been playing together with for some time now. The drummer there, and it was nice. It's a small place called Snow White. I might have talked about it before. A kind of combination of a restaurant, like the upper floor is restaurant, and then beneath is like the venue.
Say the dungeon. Don't say beneath. In the dungeon.
Yeah, it's the dungeon.
The dungeon.
Played in a dungeon. And as I told you, it was great. It was really fun. It was a good concert. We played well, and the crowd was great. It was a lot of. It was more people than we expected. I mean, we knew it was an awkward time too. Like in the middle of July is usually where people are like away from the city, also, taking like vacation and everything. But that was great to see. Talked to a lot of people, met some old friends. I was really happy to also see my friend that is struggling with illness. So he came there, and he had been resting and everything just to make sure that he would be able to go to the concert and listen and watch us. So that was good. That was really fun. It was a good evening. And as mentioned to you before podcast, also gave us a bit of a carrot to continue now. We're gonna have like a small band meeting when the guitarist Johan is back from Corfu. He went to a Greek island called Corfu. He's gonna be there for a week together with his daughter. So when he comes back, we're gonna sit down just and talk and see, okay, so what's the next plan here? Now, obviously, we have been rehearsing well. We have this set of songs, so we can perform like 1 hour. We should continue to build that, maybe a bit longer, but also make sure to contact in time, because it takes time due to booking schedules also when it comes to other places. So hopefully we'll get a gig like September and onwards. So we'll see about that. So that was definitely the highlight of the week. And tomorrow, Thursday, tomorrow I go and meet with the other guys in the band for two reasons. We need to put in some of the instruments we used. we had just a few with us. They had a backline, so I didn't play on my own drums. I just brought my snare drum and some cymbals and stuff. But it's also going to be a bit of a rehearsal. We have another project. There's some songs that especially the keyboard player Janne wrote back in the days. They had another band at that point of time. So we have been playing them some, and that is outside, you might say, of the Capital 59 concept. So we'll see. That might also become something we do during the fall when it comes to also playing live. So yeah. So that's been nice. But I've been pushing on. I've been doing like my normal stuff, of course, producing like videos and music. And as I told you, I live streamed yesterday. But I also decided, due to annually my wife's soon having vacation, that I will take 2 weeks off from live streaming, which feels good. Actually, just it's good to decide something like that also, so you give yourself a bit more space and freedom also. Even though I've now gone down to 2 days a week instead of 3. So I stream Tuesdays and Sundays because those days were the best, not only for me but for others as well. So I decided to do that. Yeah. No, but that feels good too. That's actually quite a difference. Otherwise, my old schedule, well, I would stream also this evening, Wednesday, and that's fun. I mean, I don't mind, but it yeah, it's quite nice to also know that, oh, well, I'm gonna have an evening off, at least now. Maybe later when we're back on track, we might even rehearse on a Wednesday sometimes with the band. Well, then I can do that because it's free, right? I have the evening if necessary. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I guess that's the week foremost. I can't really recall anything else that was like out of the normal. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. That was the week. The week.
Sounds like a fine week indeed. Like a fine week.
Yeah, we have some. I have to ask you, because we've had some rain as well. It's been coming some days in between with rain, which actually was good. I was hoping for thunder as well, because they said it's going to be some thunder here in the region on Monday, but that didn't happen. But it rained at least quite some short bursts, you might say. So we got a bit better air, less humid. Which is always a kind of plus, I guess. Have you had some rain?
We have not as much as like a thunderstorm, but it is gonna be quite rainy this week. So like I believe like maybe today it's probably gonna rain at some point during the day, and I think for the rest of the week maybe it's gonna be raining. Let me just double check if I'm correct. So actually today's just gonna be cloudy. Up until Saturday it's gonna be cloudy, and then rain on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, and then sunny, like cloudy again up until Friday, and then rain again. So yeah, it's been going here and there. I mean, just looking out the window right now, it looks like it's gonna rain because it's cloudy. It looks gray. But according to the weather report, it should still, like by midday, it should just be like like scattered clouds. No rain. So yeah, it's been pretty decent. Pretty normal.
Yeah, that's interesting, because we also had a forecast. When I watched, we have this paper newspaper, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday during the weekends, and I look at the back and I see, okay, it's gonna be like the whole week here, like with rain and shit. But that didn't happen. I mean, it does change. I mean, like today, the weather is fine. It's like sunny and not so many clouds. It's like, okay, that changed. Well, I guess again, and I think we've said this before, when they do these forecasts and it's like 3 days or 5 days even in forehand, it is definitely possible it will change. They can't, at least not yet, maybe in the future, but now still they can't be that precise.
Yeah, they can't. So, they can't be that precise yet. No. Until they can tell the future, and then they'll be precise. So yeah.
Yep, there we go. Something like that. But with that aside, let's talk some video gaming.
I guess I'll talk about the Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, which I'm playing on the PC. So so this has to do with my bet. So all you'll be hearing from me for the next couple of weeks is about my bet, because I'm looking forward to winning this. I'm
Of course.
but if you listen to this, I'm gonna take your money, right? I did promise you that I'm taking your money. So, that being said, The Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky is an older game. This game came out way back in the cave days, but the version of the game I'm playing is on the PC, which came out on the 29th of July 2014. This was published by Exceed and Marvelous. Currently, right now, I think the company that's publishing the games from this series is NIS America, and the developer is Neon Falcom. And I'm a fan of Neon Falcom. I like their games. I've spoken about their games in the podcast before. Games like East and so forth are part of their catalog of JRPGs, and they're known as one of if not the best JRPG developer out there when it comes to JRPGs. Like their stuff is just so rich and full of just all the goodness that you love in a JRPG. It's just amazing. And so I've been meaning to play their series for a while. I have all the games in the franchise. So I've got it's 10 games in total, which is Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky, Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky second chapter, Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky third, and then it has Trails of I think it's Trails of Azure and Trails of Zero. So those two are just two separate games. So the games are connected basically, but you have it's sort of like the way people describe it is like the MCU of JRPGs. So the three Sky games are a trilogy. The two games Azure and what's that song? Whoa. I think that's the game trailer just came on in the background because I have the Steam page open up in front of me. So. Yeah. So the Azure and Zero are called the Crossbell games. Those are like just a two-parter. And then you have the Cold Steel games, which is Legend of Heroes: Trails of Cold Steel 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you have the Legend of Heroes Trails into Reverie, which is the final game in the set. So I'm at that final game. I'm at Reverie. Well, that's the one I'm supposed to get to. Sorry, the game that I'm playing right now is the first in the series, which is Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky. So I have to finish this game. I think I've set in my mind. I'm thinking if I at least do a game a week, that'll be good. If I at least take a week to complete one of the games, I think that should be good enough time for me to complete the whole series in a reasonable amount of time. I don't want to really do 2 games in a week per se, because I feel like it will really bum me out. I'll get to a point where I'm I hate this series. So I think one a week will give me enough space to get through the game, and maybe hopefully I could probably what do you call it? Trying to find a word for it. I could probably play something else in between to not saturate myself on just one game, So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it gets and all that kind of stuff. But so far, I'm enjoying the game. It's very old school. I think the one thing I would like to improve my experience with the game is to get a Steam Deck or something, some kind of handheld PC, so that I can play it on there, because with this particular game, at least this particular one, the graphics are very vintage, and because it's very vintage graphics, it looks like an older game, and I think on a smaller screen it will look amazing, So luckily 2 of the games in the set are on the Switch, so the Azure and Zero are on the Switch, so they'll look great on my handheld screen, when I play them on there. But this one is on PC, so I'm playing it on PC, and we'll see how it goes. La-di-da, swiddle. So yeah, that's the Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky. The only other things I can say about it, it says it's not Steam Deck unsupported by the Steam Deck, but I don't believe that, because this game is visually easy to run on the Steam Deck. I just think they haven't tested it, to be honest. It has English interface, and it says full audio, but there is no voice acting in English in this game. You have to patch it in if you want to use the English voice acting, which I have patched in the Japanese voices. It also has what do you call this thing? Requirements, obviously it being a classic game. I'll just read the recommended and not the minimum because even the recommended is that low. So we're looking at a Core 2 Duo or higher, 1 gig of RAM, 64 megabit VRAM graphics card. So that's bare minimum. Like a toaster could run this. So yeah, that's essentially the game I will be playing for the next week or so, and then I'll jump to the next one, which will be second chapter and so
Good.
forth. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. I'm looking forward to finishing it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, wish me luck, all of you people out there, as I take Bao's money, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, yes, kind of reflection. I think your plan is good. Not to push too hard already from the start, but to
Mhm.
do like one game a week or something like that. That
Yeah,
sounds good.
and take Bao's
Other-
money.
yeah, yeah, of course. At the end, yeah, that's
Mhm.
the holy grail out there. You know,
Exactly. Mhm.
you're gonna find it. You're gonna find it. Uh, okay, so I have been I've been doing a little of this and that as always. First off, I want to like mention a kind of a gaming news thing,
Mhm.
and it's on the positive side of things. I've been bashing down a bit lately, like talking about the condition when it comes to like Activision and the Call of Duty games recently, that uninstalled Modern Warfare 2, the latest one, and so
Mhm.
forth. But actually, Microsoft, as you might know, are now getting in there due to the ownership, you might say.
Mhm.
And they actually decided to revive the old servers when it comes to Call of Duty, the older Call of Duty games.
I've heard of
uh,
this.
yeah, exactly. When it comes to the Xbox, the old Xbox, and
Mhm.
the OG days of Call of Duty, I would say,
Mhm.
which has, of course, I see already on YouTube, of course, there's a lot of positive reactions and Call of Duty YouTubers that are making videos about it,
Mhm.
obviously. I don't think it's great because the problem also with Activision is that they have been pushing people away, forcing people to buy the new games, not really
Mhm.
caring about the old games, and that kind of marketing, you might
Mhm.
say. Whilst Microsoft Microsoft now showed that they actually, well, I don't know the incentive behind it, but apparently it's there, and I don't know how long it's gonna last. But
Yeah.
yeah, you can pick up your old Xbox controller and the Xbox and play some of the older Call of Duty games. I saw when it comes to numbers, there is quite a few people online. If
Mhm.
people are into like the multiplayer, I think that's cool. I just want to mention it
Mhm.
when something like nice happens as well, and it's not only like the bad side of the business aspect of the video game industry.
Mhm.
So at least that's something cool. Does that mean that I play them? No, I haven't really. I don't think I'm gonna fire up the old Xbox. I don't. Also due to the fact that I hardly ever play with a controller any longer, especially not when it comes to multiplayer games. That's a difference. I mean, I can use it, and I do when I play some campaigns and stuff like that. When it comes to other games, especially like the horror games, I've been streaming once in a while.
Mhm.
But that's another story. But yeah, I've been, as you may know, there's another shooter. I mentioned it called BattleBit Remastered that has been doing really, really well. It's
Mhm.
a hot topic, and they are just smashing it. The interesting part, it's a bit of a gaming news thing here, is that there are three guys that has developed the game, and they have done already a lot of money. The problem though is that they don't get paid from Steam until September.
Ooh.
So they have a huge depth due to the costs when it comes to the servers they are providing, because they also wanted to have like good dedicated servers,
Mhm.
and that costs a lot of money, especially in the region of South America, apparently. So they are taking a loan to cover that, and
Mhm.
then they'll get money like in September to maybe be able to
Balance the
make
books.
it to balance it. Yeah, it's kind of weird, right?
Mhm.
Which kind of reminds me a bit about a former colleague when it comes to Chromata that decided to, or actually we said also he should go on the hype train when it comes to the pop band he was playing in, Peter, Bjorn, and John, and they got like a huge hit and everything.
Mhm.
And he did. I'm happy he actually did that, even though he would have enjoy to continue also to play with the percussion group.
Mm-hmm.
But even so, it was the same there. It took some time, you know, and they didn't see any money because, you know, it's held back due to royalties and everything. But
Mm-hmm.
then after a year or two, you know, it started to get in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a kind of the same scenario-ish, something like that. But with that said, also referring to BattleBit Remastered as a low poly FPS game,
Mm-hmm.
I decided to check out an older, well, yeah, it's 3 years old,
Mm-hmm.
poly game called Polygon, actually,
Mm-hmm.
which is a shooter. It's a bit a smaller format, not as ambitious as the BattleBit Remastered game.
Mm-hmm.
So it lands a bit like in between, I would say, a kind of a Call of Duty Battlefield experience.
Mm-hmm.
You can play up to 32 players, so it's like what is that now? 16 versus 16, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And it plays quite well. It has more like a kind of aesthetic, like more colorful, bright, you might say, than a bit like the washed out colors you might see in BattleBit Remastered. That's just the style of the graphics, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is, of course, that as mentioned before, BattleBit Remastered costs $15, but Polygon is for free
Yeah.
on Steam, and it has. Yeah, it has positive reviews. I would say it's definitely, if you're an FPS gamer, if it's definitely worth trying out if
Mm-hmm.
you like that. I know some people don't bother at all when it comes to low poly games, but as I say in the video, especially now due to the success when it comes to BattleBit Remastered, of course it's a timing also here in a gap where some of the bigger titles hasn't been doing well, and especially also the Battlefield franchise.
Mm-hmm.
But even so, they've done things right when it comes to taking things from the game or games
Mm-hmm.
that works, and they're doing it well, and that's enough for people to buy the game and play, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's interesting. What I was referring to is what I said in the video. I said that we might see more games like this. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
nothing new. I played like poly games already on Roblox, checking out some stuff some years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, as I said, on Roblox now you can find games that, and I've covered a few of them, like Frontlines and others, that looks almost as if they are or have been made by a AAA developer because it's really good graphics. So yeah, it's interesting when it comes to the game development scene and everything. But there we are again. So I guess predict that there will be more of these low poly games.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure, and I think we talked about this before. How if you might find them also in other genres like JRPG or
Mm-hmm.
MOBA or anything like that, because of course it's easier, like a cheaper solution in a way to
Mm-hmm.
make games with that kind of graphics,
Yeah.
because you can also you know, put more time into performance and other aspects of the game,
Mm-hmm.
and also you won't be compared like to another Unreal Engine 5 game, and well, that looks better, and you know, you don't
Mm-hmm.
have that comparison.
Yeah.
So that's out of the discussion already from the start.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's the low poly department
That's a
talking here for
covered.
the week. Yeah.
But that I think to add to that as well, I think when you consider what types of games the younger generation like, they like low poly. That's like you know, that's free. Like free low poly is what is
Yeah.
their particular genre of choice, and that's not even a genre. But I think if you have to think about it, it could be its own genre of like low poly free to play games are usually what younger generation players like, because they don't have to spend money, because most younger generation players don't have money because they're kids, and they're low poly because they seem to like Minecraft. Minecraft is
Exactly.
has
Yeah.
been their biggest thing, that and Roblox. And so anything else that looks similar to that looks appealing to them. You know, even like at Ty's age, at 5 years old, he likes Minecraft. You know, and he's 5.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so he looks at Minecraft and he's like, "Ooh, that looks nice." You know, whereas I'll be playing something with full beautiful graphics and he's not thinking like, "Ooh, beautiful." He's like, "That's not Minecraft." You know, I'm like,
Yeah. By the way, I have to ask you. We might have talked about this before, most likely. Have you ever played Minecraft?
I have played Minecraft in the past.
Yeah. Okay, you have.
Yeah, not a fan though, but I've played
Yeah.
Minecraft. So,
I never have. But
Oh,
I've had
really?
people, I've had followers asking me to actually stream Minecraft. And I've been like, but I
It's
mean,
not for me. Yes.
well, I don't know since I haven't really tried it. I mean, for me then, but it's I don't know. We'll see. I just want
I
to ask.
I played it back. I don't know if you remember P3 and Neku.
Yes.
Right. So when he was a part of the site, when he was part of the site when it was named thebuttonsmashers.com,
Mhm.
and he used to play a lot of Minecraft at that point in time.
Oh,
And
okay.
at one point in time, he got me to play with him. He like kept asking me, and eventually, like I said yes. And I played with him. That's the first time I played Minecraft, and I was like, my God, I'm having a little bit of fun, but I hate myself for it. And yeah, I was not there for it. I was like, look, I do not like this this
Yeah.
Minecraft thing. But eventually, like, yeah, I think I played like maybe like twice or three times and I never went back. I was like,
No.
this is not my kind of game. Like, I can
No.
see why people have fun with it. It's like that whole just like relaxing vibe of just like you're just there chipping away at stuff. And I get it. I get why people like it. I
Yeah.
honestly do. But is it for me? No, it's not my cup of tea because
No.
I don't want to be sitting there for like an hour chipping away at a piece of rock to try to build something. Nah, like that's not my cup of tea. I want a story. I want characters. I want a world. I want things to live in. And so sandbox games just don't work for me. But then at the same time, for other people, some people like that kind of stuff. Some people play games
Yeah.
just to build and create things, And I think for Ty, he would love that because he likes Lego. He loves Lego a lot.
Yeah.
So for him, having a game where he could build and create stuff in it, he would love himself a lot. And I did try to, because I noticed that he was into that kind of stuff, I did actually install Minecraft on the Xbox for him. But then I noticed Minecraft nowadays has a bunch of microtransaction crap in it. So after just loading it up, there's a bunch of pop-ups and stuff with you can pay and buy for this thing. And I was like, oh, bollocks. I was like, why can't it just be like old school Minecraft with none of that extra stuff? Or at least you could choose if you want to buy the extra stuff, but not have it all plastered all over the menus every time you open a menu and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
after that, I just sort of like put it on the side, and I haven't really jumped back in, to be honest. So yeah. Anywho, let's talk about some telly. I ended up watching a show this week with Chris. Chris and I sat down on the sofa sometime this week, and he popped some popcorn, and we watched this movie called Army of Thieves. All right. We watched it on Netflix. It was amazing. It stars Ruby Ofe, I think. Natalie Emmanuel, Matthias. How do you say his last name? How do you say this last name, Raj? Can you help me with this?
Yeah, I gotta check this out. Are we talking the? Aha, Matthias Schweighöfer.
Schweighöfer.
Yeah,
Schweighöfer. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, good.
That's exactly what I was going to say. To be honest, like I was thinking the same thing, but I wasn't sure. I needed you to like to confirm it for me. But that's exactly what I was thinking.
His name is it's like Ludwig Dieter. Dieter is also German, so there you go.
I knew that as well. Yes.
But look at you. We have someone I recognize here as well to the right when we're checking Topcast.
You mean Natalie Emmanuel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw when I saw her in the film, I was like, ooh, looking good, Natalie Emmanuel in this. So I was really happy about it. There's also Gus Kahn in here, which I'm a new age fan of Gus Kahn. I like Gus. I think he's funny. So you had him in there as well. It was a great film. This is a really great film. This is if I'm correct, the director for this film is what's his name again?
The director is Matthias Schweighöfer.
Oh, I actually thought the director was someone else. Okay, never mind.
Well, the writer is Zack Schneider.
I think that's the name I was thinking of was Zack
Schneider is known when it comes to isn't that like a DC Universe name, right? Or far out now?
He is known for the DC Universe and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I have to say this film was well written. It was intelligent. It was funny.
Mm-hmm.
The characters are really cool.
I've been thinking about watching this. I've been scrolling. I saw it. I was like, okay, wait, this looks a bit cool.
It is amazing, and it's a two-parter. There's another film that comes after it called Army of the Dead, and that one is also good as well.
Okay.
IMDb gives it a 6.4. I disagree strongly. I think it's easily a 9, if not a 10.
Oh.
It is easily a 9, if not a 10, right? And a good portion of the film takes place in Germany. And then, and then moves off to other places. And it's really intelligent, really well written. The characters are over the top and just amazing, just so cool. So yeah, really, 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 really good film. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing some of these other actors and actresses in other stuff, because it's good. This was really, 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 really good.
I'm trying to see how long it is.
Oh, it's like standard film length. I think like I believe it's like 1 hour and 7 minutes. Sorry, 2 hours and 7 minutes. So
yeah, something like that. Okay.
Standard film length. And then the second movie, again, Army of the Dead. That one is, I want to watch that one. That one is after. That one is actually directed by Zack Snyder, and it actually stars David Bautista. Yeah, so the whole spiel of this army of thieves is these thieves decide they're gonna steal these and basically break into these safes that were made by this famous safe maker person who was like very medieval and stuff, and he used to make all these extravagant safes. And so basically they hold this competition to get all the best safe crackers who could, in the world, who could join this thing. And our guy, the main character, who's played by Matthias, he is like an amazing safe cracker. But then he's also a YouTuber with 0 subscribers. Like, so he makes YouTube videos about safes and puts them up on YouTube, and no one watches them. And when he gets his first view, he's like so excited, like, oh my god, yes, I got my first view, it's amazing. And so he's such an innocent, happy-go-lucky, cool guy. In that sort of like sweet way. He works this job at the bank, and he's bored of his job, and he just. He's a very immaculate person. He has to have everything a specific way. He's very organized and all that kind of stuff. And so they get him to crack the safes for them. And the person who recruits him is Natalie Emmanuel, her character, who he has the hots for, by the way. So when he meets her, he's like, oh my god, she's so gorgeous. And then he decides he wants to pursue her. But at the same time, there seems to be some other stuff going on in the crew that they have, which I shall not go into details because I think it's too good and you have to see. But it is funny. It is well written. It is intelligent. It's a really good movie, and I like it. I like it a lot.
Nice.
So I want to say easily my favorite film to watch this year was Army of Thieves, and I'm looking forward to watching Army of the Dead when I get a chance. So I want to watch that one. That's it.
It's interesting. I just realized I have been watching Army of the Dead. I might have even talked about it in the podcast. Yes,
probably.
I have. Yeah. It's because that is directed by Zack Snyder.
Yes.
He has also been writing, but that's the difference between the two. That he's not the director of the Army of Thieves. But yeah, definitely check out Army of the Dead. I think it was a cool movie. I'm surprised it like only has a 5.8. I'm not going to talk about this. I'm not going to spoil anything. You're going to see it and you can mention what you think later on. But I remember it as better than 5.8, whatever that is, but it's like, okay, interesting.
I think it's just people out there being haters, bro. Like, honestly speaking, I think
sometimes that's the case too. Yeah.
I think it's it's going to be a great movie because because I mean, this movie is rated a 6, right? So this is a 6.5, and I don't think 6.4. Sorry, and I don't think it's a 6.4. So I honestly think, I think the people rating this just have no taste in film.
But it's true. It has been a bit controversial. Also, discussions when it comes to some recent movies. Also, whether they get like review bombed, like the other way around, like overly positive reviews just because of something. And they have this system also when it comes to removing certain like votes, or
Mm-hmm.
I've heard as well when it comes to the bad side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of, I'm not sure if we should call it algorithm, but it's there, talking about IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be a bit like misleading, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes.
Yeah.
We shouldn't, well, we shouldn't listen to, we talked about that when it comes to gaming too, but we shouldn't listen too much to reviews sometimes. It's better to hear if a friend has been watching or what other people think, and then maybe. But at the end of the day, we just like different things,
We
and
do. We do.
so it's
I I think generally speaking, I do think you should check reviews for things sometimes. And I think and I say sometimes with regards to film, because I feel like with film, a review could spoil the film, and then you'd spoil your experience, depending if you're like me in that sense.
mm,
Um, I think for games, it's 100%. You have to watch reviews. I think if you're buying games, especially because games are so
yeah,
much more expensive, like compared to a film,
yeah,
a game is so much more expensive to purchase. It's like 70
mm,
quid now for a game.
yeah,
So,
yeah. That's a different thing. I agree with that. That is true.
yeah.
And
Uh,
that's also why it's better to, yeah, sorry, but that's also why it's usually better to not, like, well, pre-order is one thing,
yeah.
but also wait like maybe 2 weeks after
Mm-hmm.
release, or at least 1 week, so you see what people are saying. And I'm not only saying like one or two persons, but more than
Mm-hmm.
that. So you get like kind of a average,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
what people are saying and how they're talking about the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely.
yeah, that
Definitely,
might be a
definitely,
good thing to do.
definitely. So I would say that's the best way to go about it in that
Mm,
sense. But outside of that, like, yeah, generally, like when it comes to reviewers, like having reviewers who of this of a like of a similar ilk to you, the viewer, like you find someone who their interests align with yours. So, like I think someone coming to me for a first person shooter review, you're probably gonna hear that they suck, because
mm,
that's not really my cup of tea. But then if you come to Roger, you're gonna be like, oh, these are some really good games. He'll probably give you a lot better feedback on a game like a
mm.
first person shooter, whereas I probably wouldn't. But then you come to me for a JRPG, yeah, I'll probably tell you what the
Exactly.
best JRPGs are. Roger
Yeah.
may not be able to tell you what the best JRPGs are.
No,
He
I
he may
don't.
think this. He
I
may
can say
write in
that
the
already now.
review this game is too long. There's too much reading. La di da. Whereas for me, it's like, oh, brilliant. You've got a lot of sort of like backstory for the characters, and it's amazing, and blah blah blah. But Roger might put the hitbox is poor. You can't aim down the sight in this game. Poor development
Yeah,
doesn't.
something like that, most likely. No, but it's true. It's true. That's why we yeah, as you said, yeah, experience is a thing indeed. But
Yeah.
even so, that differs too. I
Hmm.
mean, put three JRPG experts, one of you
Hmm.
and two others, and you might get different answers and sayings.
Definitely.
Sometimes, though, you can definitely. Usually, if it's something that is really good,
Hmm.
most of the time there's kind of a consensus. People saying yes,
Hmm.
this is definitely worth buying. It's fun. It's a good game, and blah blah blah.
Hmm.
That kind of thing. But if it's a bit in between there, that can definitely be different experiences.
Hmm.
But even so, we should move on. I gonna continue and talk about a movie
Yeah, maybe.
that I did watch some time ago now. I have
Hmm.
another one in the back pocket, but I'll save that for later. We watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Hmm.
And this, though, has a rating that I agree upon.
Hmm.
That's nice to see that it can actually work like that as well. Talking
Hmm.
about IMDb again, 8.1. I
Hmm.
would definitely put it something like that, maybe even a bit higher.
Hmm.
I had a really good time watching this movie. First off, I've enjoyed, and I do like the Guardians of the Galaxy. We talked about like almost backstory and characters. Here we do get a backstory regarding one of the crew members in Guardians of the Galaxy. I won't spoil and I won't say who,
Hmm.
but it's a pretty in detail explanation, and it leads up to the flashbacks takes us also, of course, like following the storyline
Hmm.
into what's happening now in the film. Also, I think the cast is great. I mean, we know Chris Pratt, of course, but the other
Hmm.
guys as well. Bautista as always, and the voice of Groot, which is Vin
I am
Diesel.
Groot.
Exactly, just that in itself. But no, I think the casting is really good. The characters are cool. They have this chemistry also all together that works really well on the screen. So, oh yeah, by the way, Bradley Cooper is Rocket. I forgot that. The raccoon.
Ooh.
Okay. The voice. The
Mhm.
voice. He doesn't look like that. Uh,
He doesn't look like that. Of course he
yeah.
does.
I also want to mention, you might have seen him. This is a hard name for me also to pronounce.
Mhm.
I'm gonna try. Shukwudi Iwuji. There we go. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
he's something called a high evolutionary. I'm not gonna say too much, but
Mhm.
he's doing. I liked his job in the film as well.
Mhm.
And yeah, this is overall really. I would go. I guess this is one of my. I don't know. One of my favorites in the series.
Ooh.
It's really maybe not as good as the first one, but
Mhm.
it's close for me. It's like. I had a good vibe. I really recommend this. If you like sci-fi and if you have been watching
Mhm.
the previous movies, then definitely go ahead and watch Volume 3 of
Mhm.
Guardians of the Galaxy. It's fun. I mean, I also like the kind of. I mean, there's some really good action, of course, in there, and it's super cool. It's also some emotional, nice moments, as said, when explaining a certain background of one of the characters and stuff like that. But we also have the comedy aspect, which is it's really good.
Mhm.
Some good laughs. You'll definitely get that as well. So there you go, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Watch it, watch it,
Love alert.
love.
Looking
Yeah.
forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
I will eventually get to that when similar to the game series I'm playing. I need to go through the series
Sure.
of Marvel cinematic movies to get back to Guardians of the Galaxy because they all seem to have some kind of interconnected stuff. So I will have to I accidentally turned on my Xbox. I will have to jump into that at some point and get
Yeah.
that sorted. But for now, I am fine with I am fine without seeing it yet, but I will stay away from the spoilers and I'll eventually see it at some point in the near future, hopefully.
Indeed.
And yeah, I still have to watch what's the name? Wonder Vision. I need to watch that first
Mm,
and a few others before I get to Guardians of the Galaxy. So
sure.
it's kind of a thing. I think we've got a podcast, Raj.
We have a podcast.
Oh,
It's
beautiful.
still ongoing, but I feel you. We're getting to the closure, the end
Well, there's
of
nothing else to
wrap
add.
up.
I've already spoken about what I've been watching and what I've been playing. You have as well.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, so
gonna.
like, I think that's about it.
Yes, we gotta close the box.
I think we close the box now. You
Yes.
know.
Dear people out there, the beautiful people of that beautiful live podcast, you
Tell
are
them.
awesome. Yes, there are awesome people out there listening to what we have to say about life, about Tele, about gaming, and other things that might be worth considering to do or digest.
Very nice.
Very nice indeed. People, take care and have a beautiful week. Don't stay up too long. Get your beautiful sleep. Eat an apple a day. Keep the doctor away. And don't forget the muffin. Muffin and out.
Beautiful as always. So with that, thank you very much for you guys who listened to this episode of That Beautiful Life podcast. You can find Rog pretty much everywhere. The number 40 with SPL, ISH, SPL, ASH. He streams on a Tuesday and a Sunday now because he's dropped that Wednesday. You can find me at LP Garden, that's Garden's Auto, you pretty much everywhere else. You can also find me at Simply Binge or at Simply Binge UK. And I will be streaming on Monday and Tuesday as well as maybe some other days in the week because I'm looking to power through this game that I'm playing. So look forward to me winning that bet against Bao. Bao, if you're listening to this, I'm gonna take your money. Leveler. So with that being said, thank you very much for listening to this episode of That Beautiful Life podcast. Many beautiful people like to subscribe to this podcast on Castbox, Acast, Spotify, iTunes, simplybinge.com, and elsewhere. And we're so confident they're gonna like it that way, giving away for free. So as always, guys, this has been queued for your pleasure. And it's a wrap. That's the episode.